Okay, so my screen is visible to you all. Yes. Okay. So first of all, I'll give you the description of your task 1. Okay, which is the description is to learn about the basic Python syntax understanding. Okay, the intern will learn foundational Python concepts such as variable, data types, loops, and functions. Okay, and in this our responsibility is we'll learn some Python syntaxes. Okay, through tutorials and simple coding exercise, and we'll practice some basic operations like for adding, removing, and modifying. My screen is visible clearly. Please everyone just confirm me right now because Tanvi is unable to see. Okay, and your third is okay. So basically your description is that the intern will learn foundational Python concepts such as variable, data types, loops, and functions. And your responsibility is to study the Python syntax through tutorials and simple coding exercise. Okay, and we'll learn some basic scripts, basic operations like how to add, remove, and modify from the data types. And we'll learn some of the data structures like list, dictionary, and tuples. Okay, so this is your task 1 description. Now I'll share my screen. Yes, I hope my screen is visible. Is this visible? Now I am audible clearly. Yes. Okay. So first of all, we'll learn about the variables. Okay. So what is variables in the Python? Variables are used to store data values. Okay. So your task 1 is actually the basics of your Python to know about, like you don't you know or don't know the basics or not. Okay, so first of all, here is the variables are used to store data values, and you can assign a variable value to a variable using the equal sign. Okay, and variable names can start with a letter or an underscore but not a number. Okay, so make sure this. And the syntax for the variable is here you have to assign any variable name, it depends on you. Then in equals to, okay, you have to assign equals to sign, then value. In this you have to assign your value of your variable. See, here is the example for it. Okay, syntax is this. Here is the variable name age is underscore student. Okay, so this is your variable name, and here is your equals to sign. You have to assign a value to a variable using the equal sign. Okay, so yes, and here is your value of your variable. You can use any variable name, but don't use a number in the start. Okay, otherwise it will show you error. Okay, so this is your variable part, the basics of variable part. Now comes our data types. What are data types? Here are the common data types in Python, including int, which is integer, and which is like whole numbers. Okay, and second is float, which is floating point numbers like 1.0, 2.0. Okay, numbers with a decimal point. Now third is string. Okay, str, which is string, this is for text data type. Okay, and fourth is bool, which is boolean, and it gives you answer in two forms, which is true or false. Okay, you can check the data type of a variable using the type function. Okay, so by using the type function you can check your data type. So here is your example. This is first example is of int type. Okay, this is integer part. Second is of floating point because it is containing the decimal point, which is 3.14. And third is your string, which is hello and comma world. This is your string data type. And fourth is your boolean, is underscore valid. If it is valid, it is valid, so it is showing you true. Okay, if it is valid, so this is your boolean types. So now we'll check the data type of our type num. Okay, print type, this is for, we have to use type function for knowing your data type of a variable. Okay, so your num type is integer here. Okay, so your class is int here. Okay, So I hope this is clear what is data types. Now here is your loops. So basically there are two loops, which is first is for loop and second is while loop. I hope all know. So first is for loop, which is like used to iterate over a sequence. Okay, so this is used to iterate over a sequence, list, tuple, string, etc. Okay, so here is the syntax for it. You have to use for item in sequence. Okay, this line you have to use for item in, you have to mention some conditions. Okay, then your code block will work there. Okay, and this is for while loop, which is you have to execute a block of code as long as a specified condition is true. Okay, so in what is in while loop, it will execute a block of code as long as a specified condition is true. Okay, so here is your syntax for it. You have to use while condition, while function for it, and inside it will be your code block. Okay, so this is your while loop. Now your last one is your functions part. So basically functions are blocks of code that only run when called. Okay, so it is like a block of code that only run when called. Okay, so you can pass data known as parameter into a function. Okay, and function can return data as a result. Okay, for example, here is your syntax, which is def, and this is your function name. You have to mention your function name. Okay, and in bracket here you have to write the parameter. Okay, then you have to use your code block. You have to write your code basically, and then you have to use return result, so it will show you the result. Okay, so here is your example for it. Here is your function that we have created, which is def greet. Here is your greet function basically. Okay, and in bracket your parameter is name. So here it is returning, return hello comma, this is your string data type plus name. Okay, and here print greet, and in bracket it is alias. Okay, so what it will return, it will return first hello and then plus name. Name is your alias. Here we called the name function. Okay, and what is the name of that function? Here name is alias. So here answer is hello comma alias. Okay, so these are the basics, like what is variables, data types, and loops and functions. So here is your basics. Okay, for it, so just to know about that, you all know the basics of Python or not, and just to see. Okay, go through some basics first, then we'll learn higher. Okay, so here is your variable, again used to store data values. This is your example of variables. You can assign any variable name. Okay, but don't use underscore in start. Then second is your data type, which is, you know, there are four types of data type, which is int, float, string, boolean. Okay, and this is your example for the same. Then third is your loop part, which is, you know, there are two loops, which is for and while loop. And for loop is to iterate over a sequence, and while loop is to execute a block of code as long as a specified condition is true. Okay, and fourth is function. Function are block of code that only run when called. Okay, so this is your, and this is your function example. You have to call it, and here is your result. Okay, so this is your basics of your data type. So is this clear? First, then I'll tell you more. Okay, is this clear? Just please confirm me right now. Okay, I'll tell you. Okay, now we'll do about the data structure, which is list, dictionary, and tuple. Okay. Okay, so I hope the basic is clear what is variable, data types, and loops and function. So now we'll learn about some data structure which is list, dictionary, and tuple. Okay, so now here is your code for
Excuse
it.
me, ma'am.
So, yes.
Ma'am, didn't we already have the first task as list, dictionary, and tuple on
See,
25th of May?
okay, yes, I got it, but you have to do this task now. Okay, because
So this is the second task.
this is your first task basically. Okay, now this is your first
But
task,
we
and
already posted the first task as a list.
okay, no problem. If you have posted, then no problem.
Didn't we
And
already submitted our?
okay, no problem. If you have posted, then no problem. Those who don't post it, didn't post that previous task one, they can post this one. Okay, but okay, so you can post this one if you didn't post that one. So those who posted the previous one, they can listen and
And
just
ma'am, what about
yes, yes.
ma'am? What about the that pandas manipulation? We
Pa-
got as task 2.
See, this is your task one, okay, and your task two will do in next class. Okay, so basically those who didn't do the task one, the previous task one, have to do this, and those who did the task one, previous task one, just listen. Okay, just listen. No, you don't have to post the two tasks. If you have those who have submit the previous task one, okay, just let it be. Okay, don't post this task, and those who didn't post that task one have to post this task. Okay, so yes, it depends on you. Okay, so now we'll learn about some data structure which is list, dictionary, and your tuples. So for it, first you have to import the panda library. Okay, import pandas as pd. This is necessary for the basic function for reading and writing in your Jupyter notebook. Okay, it contains the necessary libraries which is we have to need for reading, writing, okay, purpose for it. So first is list. So basically list is a collection of items that are ordered and mutable. Okay, what is the meaning of mutable? Which is like, which means you can change, add and remove elements in a list. Okay, and the lists are created using the square brackets. Okay, and contain elements of different data types. Okay, so yes, this is how you have to create a list, which is this is your variable, which is your my underscore list. Okay, this is your variable name, which is the my underscore list, and this is your variable, and this is your list. Okay, in square brackets you have to create your list. This is your list 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, now we'll do some of the operations on the list. First is adding an element to the list. So how to add an element to your list? Which is you have to use dot append function. Okay, and here in bracket we have written 6. It means 6 will be added here. Okay, so this is your first operation. Now second operation is removing an element from the list. So how you will remove? You have to use remove function for it. And here you have mentioned 3. It means 3 will be removed from your created list. Okay, then third is modifying an element in the list. So here in bracket 0 represents the index. Okay, so what is index? Index is basically the position of your elements. See, from left to right the position indexes are start from 0. So 1 is at 0 index, then 1 2 3 4. Okay, and from right to left the indexes are start from -1, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Okay, so it tells you that at the 0 index you have to replace 1 by the 10 now. Okay, and this is your you can like insert an element in your list. So this is for inserting basically. Here append is for like last place. Okay, if you use that append function, the element will append in the last position. Okay, and if you want to add in between, like at the particular position, like at second place or third index. Okay, so for it you have to use insert function. Okay, here you have to first mention your index, which is 2. So at the 2 at the second index will, here it will show you the high data type element. Okay, so now we'll print the updated list. So now we'll check all the operations. Append 6, 6 is appended here. Remove 3, 3 is removed from here. Okay, and at the place of 1 it is replaced by 10. 10 is okay, 10 is here. Then insert at the position of 2 high. So just calculate 0, 1, 2. This is your second index and here is your high. Okay, so this is your updated list. So it is similar. Now your dictionary part, second data structure. See, basically dictionary is a collection of some key value pair, okay, that are unordered, and it is also mutable, which means you can update it, okay, and change it. So for creating dictionary you have to use curly braces. Okay, and this is your my underscore dict, this is your variable name. Okay, and here you have to create your dictionary like this is your first key, which is name, and this is your value with respect to your first key, and this is your second key value pair, and this is your third key value pair. Okay, so first is adding a key value pair to the dictionary. So how to add a key value pair to your dictionary? You have to use this kind of syntax for it. Okay, so you have to use in bracket, this is your key which you have to add in your created dictionary, and this is your value. Okay, so this is your key value, which is gender and male. Then second is for removing a key value pair from the dictionary is, second is you have to use del function for it, and in bracket you have to add your key value pair, which key that you want to remove from your dictionary. Then this is your modifying. Here city value is already given, so it, but will it do, so it will replace the Delhi value with the Mumbai. Okay, so now we'll see the updated dictionary. Okay, now we'll check first operation, gender male key value pair is added here. Second is del age is deleted from here. Then third is modifying Delhi, you have to replace the Delhi with the Mumbai value. So here city is modified. Okay, now comes your tuple part. This is your third data structure, which is your tuple. So basically tuple is an ordered collection of elements, okay, enclosed within a parenthesis. Okay, for tuple you have to use the parenthesis. Okay, tuples are similar to list but are immutable. Okay, meaning their elements cannot be changed once the tuple is created. Okay, so like this is the syntax for creating the tuple. This is your variable name and this is your tuple 1 2 3. Okay, and if you want to add a new element, okay, see tuples are immutable, so you cannot like directly add elements to a tuple. However, you can concatenate tuples, okay, to create a new tuple with additional elements basically. Okay, so this is how you have to use. Here is the new element. Okay, and here we are doing the concatenation with the tuple. Okay, so this is how you can add a new element to your tuple. Now second is removing. Okay, so same reason, tuples are immutable, you cannot remove elements directly, okay, from an existing tuple. You would need to create a new tuple, okay, without the element you want to remove. Okay, so this is your new tuple, okay, updated tuple, and this is your syntaxes for it. Okay, for removing an element it means this shows your index. Here is 1 means 0. This will, okay, this from here it will represent 1 plus original tuple 2 and then parenthesis means 0 1 2, and the rest here is nothing. without, like, after the second indexes, so it will represent only one part. Okay. Okay, so it will represent this part, this third part, like from one and from after the second index, so it is representing this three part. Then this three part will be removed from our original tuple. Okay. Now third is modifying an element in the tuple. So like same answer, you can directly you cannot directly modify, but you would need to create a new tuple with the modified element. Okay, so this is your modified element, which is 5, and then update the tuple. Okay, so you have to update your tuple. Okay, so my screen is visible now. Am I visible to you all? My screen is visible to you all. Okay, so your this is your modifying an element in your tuple. Okay, so this is how you can modify it, the original tuple index. Okay, plus modify element, which is 5, and then you have to merge in the original tuple. Okay, so now we'll see the print, now we'll see the updated tuple. Okay, adding a new element to the tuple. Okay, new element is 4. Okay, so and original tuple, see, here basically remove an element, 3 is removed, and your modify element is 5. Because at the position of 4, it is replaced by 5, because we modify it. Okay, so this is your tuple part. So yes, this is your basic data structure. First is list, second is dictionary, and third is your tuple. Okay, so I hope this is clear. If not, then you can ask